Hi everyone, and welcome to my real estate channel. It's so good to have you today. Well, we've been looking at a series that I have entitled 30 Real Estate Videos in 30 Days. And we're just dealing with some of the questions that people often ask about the real estate industry. And today we are going to look at the question whether or not you should pay cash when you're buying your home. If you can afford it, should you be paying cash for your new home? Stay tuned as we look at this very interesting subject. As we've been looking at each one of these videos, we've been dealing with subjects that I feel like I have a lot of knowledge on. But I want to express a very special concern on this one, because when we're dealing with whether or not you should pay cash for a house, really has more to do with your financial planning than it has to do with real estate. Well, certainly there's a real estate bent to it, but it really has more questions that you have to deal with, with a financial planner. And I am not a financial planner by any means. And you're going to kind of see how that plays out as we look at this video subject together. In fact, I was so wary before making this video that I watched a very famous person on budgeting and paying cash or paying off mortgages early. And there's all kinds of videos on YouTube about that. And I'm not going to go into all those, but I am going to talk about some of the differences that are involved when you do pay cash for a house. So let's look together at some of the pros of paying cash for a house. Well, in the market that we're in, you have a better chance of getting the deal. What I mean by that? Well, simply whenever a house is going to require a mortgage for the buyer, there's always a chance that something can go wrong with that deal. If you don't believe me, you just have to look online and see how many houses come back on the market because the financing fell through. And so sellers understand that if somebody is paying cash, especially the deals here in Georgia where you mark no appraisal is a part of the concern, you have a better chance of getting the deal. Now, number two on those pros, and it's very close to that, listen to the terminology, you have a better chance of getting a better deal. And people who pay cash understand that. They oftentimes, a cash offer is less than a mortgage offer because they know, hey, we're paying cash, we know the deal is going to go through, and as a seller you should be aware of that. Well, I'm not going to say necessarily that it works all the time, but certainly in the market that we're in right now, that does play a part. Number three, can get around this, there is a security for people when they know they own the home free and outright. There's always going to be a security in owning your home. Number four, I'll never forget this. This is something I learned back when I was in the car business. This one guy said, because I asked him, how are you going to pay for this car? And he said, I don't pay interest. I get paid interest. So, once again, it's going back to your idea of financial planning. And then number five on the pros, I will just say that a lot of times there's some closing costs that you don't have to pay when you're paying cash. For certain, there's certain mortgage fees that you don't have to pay. So that pretty much sums up some of the major points on the pros of paying cash. Now, what are some of the cons? Well, the cons really do go to your idea of financial planning and financial budgeting, because needless to say, you are locking up your money for 15 to 30 years on this house. And so, like I said, these videos may be out there for a while, but I'm going to just talk about our current market situation. Let's just say if you were getting a 15-year note or a 30-year note, you're going to be at 3% or less than 3%. Well, there's a lot of people who are in investing, and they're going to say, well, can you make better than 2.5% to 3% on your money in other investments? So once again, you may be locking up all that cash for 30 years when you could be investing in other houses or other ventures. Like I said, not getting into the financial advisor, financial planning area. That is something you have to determine before you buy your house. Number two, you do lose a tax advantage. Now this could change from year to year as well, but you use a tax advantage because generally the interest that you pay on the loan is tax deductible. And then very close to the third point, you lose some liquidity because a lot of people like to have a little bit of a nest egg that they can get to very quickly. So once again, this is probably one of the shorter videos I'm going to do on the subject because it has, as I've said now the third time, it has more to do with financial planning than it does with how you buy a house. And so I want to remind you that, as I've said before, none of this is to be construed as legal advice. Talk to your real estate agent, talk to your real estate attorney, and in this case, deal with a financial planner. If you don't have one, contact me in the comments below and I'll recommend one to you. But talk to them about the best way to use your money. And you know the scoop by now. Everybody does it that's on YouTube. You know, if something I've said in this series has helped you, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe. If you hit the little bell, it just tells you when a new video is coming out, which typically is going to be one per week. And then if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Remember also that I help people buy, sell, invest in residential and commercial real estate, and I refer people all over the place. And I will see you when the next real estate video comes out.